So, we are no strangers to how crazy the Genshin community can be, especially when they all put their minds to the same thing. In a previous video, we saw how they took over Google Maps and how they also absolutely disrupted the entire Google Play Store. And you know what? They made it look easy. Even though we were dealing with $1 trillion company, they still managed to make it look easy. But this time, instead of the Genshin community rallying against one company, or Miho themselves, or even fighting against one another over the dumbest shit, they decided to bring all their efforts to combat one community in particular, in a 1v1 that will not be forgotten anytime soon. Look, I wouldn't even use the word disagreement to describe any of this, okay? This was a flat-out war. This was insane. I mean, I don't even need to explain it to you. Just look at this article describing what happened. Look at the content warning. Suicide, race, mental. Like, what? I think this gives you a good idea of how catastrophic this entire thing was. And you want to know what the worst part about this is? The Sonic community was asking for it. So look, as I said earlier, the Genshin community needs no introduction. The only thing you need to know is that they are everywhere on the planet, and there's way too many of them, and they're capable of doing anything if they all band up together for the same cause. Now the Sonic community, on the other hand, is a bit more niche, and does deserve some explanation. I'm sure many people have attempted to explain them on their own terms, but we're on the Mugen channel over here, baby. We're gonna explain it in my terms. So, here's an image of the autism spectrum. Look, this is a diverse, incredibly, almost infinite space situated within itself. Alright? If you just as much move from here to here, it's akin to traveling 5,000 light years in the Milky Way galaxy. Alright? This is what we're dealing with here. Now, if I were to do the impossible and try to take this incredible, infinite almost spectrum and try to scale it down on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the least autistic and 10 being the most autistic, here's what you'd end up with. 10 would without a doubt be 40-year-old bronies and people who jack off the furry. No question about it. I think everyone agrees about this. 9 is most definitely reserved to War Thunder players who will leak classified military information just because they think it's cool. 7 is easily reserved for Ziox whenever Xiao's height is mentioned. And yeah, you might have seen this coming. 8 is reserved for the very special Sonic players, or at least the fandom. Now you might ask, why are they so high up on the scale? Well, it's simple. It takes a very special kind of person to be a part of the fandom that has had nothing but L after L after L. I mean, when was the last good game before Sonic Frontiers in 2022? I can't even remember. Maybe back when Nokias were still popular. And somehow they stuck it out. They were still part of the fandom. But you can't tell me that a community that spends half its time reminiscing over 30-year-old games while spending the other half creating some of the worst, most disgustingly weird Rule 34 I've ever laid my eyes upon isn't high on the autism scale. They even got called out by the official Sonic Twitter at one point. Like, dude, that's next level. So 2022 comes along and something ridiculous happens. Something no one could have ever seen coming. Not even the fandom themselves. A good Sonic game was somehow made. A game that you can open from start to finish. It runs okay, and it's actually fun. And they also had a movie about their franchise that could have been a disaster, but it was somehow saved. Things were looking so good. It was almost unbelievable. And now they needed the whole world to know, guys, we exist. They had this existential moment where they needed the world to know they finally are getting W's. So with 2022 being the best year Sonic fans have had since my grandfather was still alive, they were hoping to end the year with a bang. And what better way to do that than to win awards? They were hoping to get nominated in the Game Awards for Best OST because I'm not gonna lie to you, the OST for Sonic Frontiers was ridiculously good. But instead, a miracle happened. Or so they thought. Because it turned out to be their biggest curse. But we'll get to that later. They end up getting nominated to the Player's Voice Award. What makes this award so special is that it's 100% decided by the player vote. There's no jury. There were other big games here, okay? To name a few, you had God of War and Elden Ring. Just letting you know because you'll probably forget throughout the video. But surprisingly, for some reason, Genshin Impact was there too. And look, I'm not gonna lie, even I think it has no business being there. This is a game that came out in 2020. We're talking about the Players' Voice Awards for the year 2022. And what's even funnier is that most Genshin players didn't really care about this award to begin with. They had just gotten little 800 Primogems for winning a PlayStation Partner Award, so they were chilling. But what happened then? How did it end up being one of the biggest controversies of the year 2022? Well, in the dumbest way you could possibly imagine. Let's check it out. Excited at the idea that these players who've been in a fandom that almost no one knows about is finally going to be able to tell the world we exist, they created the hashtag #SonicSweep and went crazy. On the third round of the Players' Choice Awards, they absolutely went insane in voting. I mean, look at this. This is insane. Look at where Genshin Impact is. Elden Ring. You know for a fact, people who play Souls games never shut their trap about them. And it's in second place compared to Sonic. But then this is where things start to go down. The Sonic community got a bit too comfortable. Similar to how someone running a marathon starts to celebrate 5 meters before the finish line, but ends up tripping and falling and breaking his face in half. The Sonic community started to celebrate a bit too early. Eggman wondering how the hell his 20-story destroyer mech is getting trashed by a 3-foot hedgehog. Referring to how much smaller the Sonic community is and how they're absolutely dumpstering Genshin. Look at this, 63 to 20%. And then the last straw for many Genshin players was when this shit got made. You had fan art mocking Genshin for losing to Sonic. I mean, why would you make this? Why? Like, this isn't even about Genshin and Sonic. They're making everyone go up against Genshin. What did Lumine do to you, man? And he had fan art like this. It's like, why would you make this? You didn't even win yet. Have you not learned anything? You know, if this was when Genshin had released, sure, I'll give them the excuse. They didn't know. But by then, Genshin had already destroyed the Google Play Store and done many other things. You can't gloat like this before you win it. On top of this, Genshin fans were being called out on the Sonic subreddit. And some insane insults were being thrown around. Like, what the f is this? Genshin magically summoning 30 billion people? Like, no, that is not how you do this. And things, of course, spiraled out of control like any internet beef, and racism started to pile up against China in particular because Genshin is a Chinese game. When China started waking up, all of Asia woke up too. And Sonic fans went to bed thinking, we're gonna win this and let the world know we exist, being happy and giddy as they always are. Then they woke up to this. Look at this, dude. In one night, Genshin went from second place to first place in the lead by almost more than 20%, 22%. Because guess what? At the end of the day, there's over 60 million Genshin players. Less than 100,000 copies sold of the last Sonic game. They're extremely niche. Sure, they're high on the spectrum. They can do a lot of things other communities can't. But ultimately, if it's a numbers game, they lose. And they didn't understand that. I mean, honestly, I found this guy's channel while researching, and it's really funny. I'm sure he, like, props it up a little bit for reactions, but, like, this was him when he was voting.
What is this shit? Huh? What? Yesterday, Sonic was winning. What is going on? Huh? You Genshin fucks! What are you doing? Huh? Huh? Are you cheating? You using bots? Huh? You anime girl loving son of a bitch. I know.
You Genshin fuck. But then things got even more heated. We're barely starting here. Both communities started accusing themselves of botting. Look, here's an example on the Genshin subreddit accusing Sonic of botting. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I want to really bring your attention to. This doesn't even have to be real, okay? This doesn't have to be real. Sure, they're saying there's proof on the API, whatever. They have all these numbers. It doesn't have to be real. At this point, both communities are full on at each other's throats. They'll take anything, even if it's fake. This is like being during medieval times and accusing someone of being the village witch. Someone can say, yo, she's wearing socks, throw her to the fire. It's like, what? That has nothing to... Yeah, throw her, yeah, kill... That's what we're dealing with here, okay? The accusations kept piling up more and more until it reached a ridiculous level. Genshin Impact was accusing Sonic of botting, while the Sonic community was accusing the Genshin community of not only botting, but bribery and corruption within the Game Awards. This is getting like government official level scandal type shit. prompting Jeff Keighley, the host and producer of the show, to do a Reddit AMA to address the drama. What are you and your team going to do about the obvious vote bribery and botting that is currently occurring in the Players' Voice Award? And he actually replied, okay, saying things like, I don't think it's bots, and that it's totally normal, and this is what they want. They want fan bases to encourage each other to vote. They want games and communities and developers to tell their fans, go out there and do it, you know? And this wasn't what the Sonic fans wanted to hear at all. Even though this was exactly what they were doing with the whole Sonic sweep bullshit. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Just a small reminder. At this point, you might have forgotten, but there's also Elden Ring and God of War, as well as Stray, which was also a nice game, on the list of games to vote for. These were totally forgotten. This was about Sonic versus Genshin, which is a shame, because those were good games too. Time kept passing, and more memes were being made about how the Sonic Frontier community didn't even want Sonic to win anymore. They just didn't want Genshin to win. And many people tried to rally from different communities to make that happen, voting for Sonic just so Genshin can't win. Look, this got so bad that even the Game Awards turned off votes. Like, in a sense that they just didn't show you the percentages anymore. You could still vote, but they didn't want you to compare percentages anymore because it was getting out of control. I'm telling you, Twitter was invaded by this. This was the only thing people were talking about. So then when the time came to finally reveal the winner, it ended exactly as you might have thought it would.
Sonic sweep.
You guys were very busy.
Here it comes.
Yeah, they were very busy being a bunch of assholes.
Genshin Impact.
Boo!
Sonic sweep.
Sonic sweep. Whatever. Sonic sweep.
They have no
All
idea.
the bot votes, the Game Award goes
See, he specified, we took out all the bot votes, all right? So at this point, you can see his face. This was all the Sonic fans all around the world thinking, oh my god, that means we win. Well,
Sonic.
Genshin Impact.
Oh no!
Nominees for Best Independent Game.
No!
Neon White. Seafood.
No!
this made it even worse because now Jeff is over here saying, yeah, we took out all the bot votes. You still lost. If he said, we didn't take out the bot votes, guys, sorry, Genshin won, they would have been like, oh yeah, Genshin won because they were botting. But in reality, you were just way smaller of a community. So of course the reactions weren't very nice from Sonic's side, as you would expect. I'm screaming, I'm crying, I hate China, dude, boring gacha game, boring characters. Sonic has squid, where my squid support? What does that even, like, what is that? I don't even know what they're talking about at this point. This was an extremely racist comment directed towards Chinese people that was suspended, but I found it in an article. Bruh, yeah. And of course things like this, holy shit, it's not that serious. Genshin can go burn and fucking hell. It didn't deserve to win at all. I swear I want to kill every single Genshin fan in the world, brother. Hey! And if any fans try starting shit with me, you will be blocked. So far, 5 people have been blocked. Now listen, during the whole thing, people called it out. You know, if you're being racist, continuing harassing Genshin fans for absolutely no reason, you have no place in the Sonic fandom, you know? And a lot of people agreed with this. So very important to specify, this was not all the Sonic community. Just like how not even all the Genshin community participated in this. Yeah, I know it's a flex, but you're dealing with 60 million players. Around that number, at least back then. So, like, I was playing Genshin full swing, and I had no idea this was going on. I need to specify that. What's crazy is that if the Sonic community just kept their mouths shut, they would have actually won the TGAs. But because they started trash talking so much, this happened. And now they're traumatized forever because of it. But just like old Disney fairy tales, it ended on a happy ending. This was posted on the Sonic subreddit, We're Gamers at the End of the Day. Very cute artwork. And this was posted on the Genshin Impact subreddit, We're Gamers at the End of the Day. You fight good. Oh, thanks. You too. Very wholesome. Awesome stuff, right? And everyone's hoping that this year, in the next couple months, when votes start and the Game Awards are actually announced, something like this doesn't happen again. But for the most part, right now, at least it ended on a fairly good note. And it makes me really happy to know that people were able to... What the f*** is this? Huh? Of course it's made by the Sonic community. You know what? You guys deserved everything. I take back everything I said. I have no regrets. God damn it, dude. What the fuck? Guys, we finally have a new band member joining us in Discord. We have Ayaka, as you know, Ganyu, and now we finally have Her Majesty Hu Tao on the piano, baby! Join the Discord to hear her playing. Follow my XXX. No, not the porn site. Twitter to see my absolute unhinged thoughts translated onto text. And keep your eye out for my stream coming on the 27th of this month. Can't wait. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.